roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, we so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot on the passenger side, we so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. She give me a. Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to another one, man. It's your boy Raw One, and this is Sparking Conversation. And y'all know what I do each and every week. I get up here and I talk to some of the world's most interesting people. And tonight I'm gonna do the same thing. But before we get into that, y'all know I got to do like I do each and every week. I got to give a double shout out to all the people that download the audio version of this platform. Y'all are the real MVPs. I tell you that each and every week because y'all are the ones that help keep this platform rolling. We understand that when it comes down to this game and anything that's content-based, we know that people like to get the visual. The visual is what help you go viral and all that other stuff. But the fact that we give out that much value that people want to listen to what we got to say, regardless of what we look like or regardless of what my guests look like. Because a lot of times, you know, that's what people are into. It's the senses. We talk about this a lot, right? Like when people's got multiple senses attacked at the same time, it just releases a higher form of dopamine, right? So it makes them either feel better or worse, depending on how they look at you. And not just based on what they hear, because sometimes people can't get past what you're saying if they can't get past how you look. So the fact that when we do these platforms and we and I give people this outlet because we got to know that on my platform, it could be a lot different if I wanted to talk about gossip or if I wanted to talk about celebrities and everything else that's going on out here. It'd be a different type of platform, right? And it'll give a different type of viewership and audience. But the fact that all the conversations that I have up here on this platform would be people that got real stories, right? They're going through real things and they don't have the NBCs and the ABCs and all these other places to get their story out, the places that they consider mainstream media. So thanking God for the fact that we were able to jump out here and have these platforms on our own, because now we get to talk to the people that the world won't give an opportunity to. I get to talk to them. Right? I get to give them a platform to where they could get their thing off. That's what I like to call it. Because everybody has a story. And a lot of people are real live superheroes that you'll never hear about. They'll never be on TV. They'll never be on the radio. They'll never really go viral on the internet. But the work that they do behind the scenes or the things that they happen to go through and witness behind the scenes is major. Right? And they need just as much of an outlet than any other person, any celebrity, any sports figure or anything else that makes a person supposedly interesting. Right? Everybody in this world that's born got a story that's interesting. It's just if you want to take the time to listen. The good thing is on this platform is that when people come up here, I only allow people up here that have a story. Right? This ain't just based on me just wanting to talk to people. It's not that. It's a platform for that because I have to take the heat. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't take into consideration. A lot of people that come up on my platform, depending on who name they call out, depending on what they say and all that, it attacks my content. It don't attack them. Once they leave my platform and they go to another platform or they go on and do whatever they do, if their social media is attacked or if they're getting shadow banned or if they're getting certain things because I tagged them or because I have them on my platform, so does the content. So people got to understand that too. You'll see certain videos of mine that got thousands of views and you'll see some that got less than 100. It's not dependent on the fact that the viewership is not there. It's just I have to eat what my guests eat. So the fact that I give my guests an outlet to come on here and get their stuff off, and then in the end of the day, it's up to them once I have them on the show to make sure that they market and promote the show. Make sure that they share the clips that I put up of them. Make sure they understand that even after you get off my platform, like I still do work for you in the background. Right? So it's not just come up here talk. I still give you little clips and I still give you reels and stuff that you can share and move around different platforms so you can continue to get your story out. Now, some people they don't appreciate that. I have a lot of guests up here who, they say, yeah, whenever you go, let me know. I'm going to share it. I'm going to do all this. And then when it happens, they don't. They see it, they'll like it or something, but they don't move it around. But it's their story. right? So it's up to them to really move it, not me, but it's up to me to move my platform. So what happens is I have to deal with the fact that some of these people come out here and call out certain people names, and then those people probably complain. And when those people complain, then my content is the one that has to suffer behind it. So the fact that people don't take it that serious and they don't go the extra mile after they get off the show, all I can say is that's on them. I'm gonna keep going, right? But your story is that important that I said, come on up. I'm gonna help you out, get your story out. So it's up to you to keep moving after that, right? All right, back. So, with that being said, super thank you to all the people that download the audio version, and I definitely appreciate y'all. Let's just say that. All right, bet. So let's run through what I gotta run through, and y'all know Kill No One Part 1 is out right now. Thank y'all for all the people that has been pushing play on the short film comedy. Kill No One is super dope. I thank y'all because, like I said, y'all know how it is when you believe in something, especially yourself. People want you to not do that. They want you to believe in what they think is good for you instead of you. So thank you to all the people that believe enough in me to push play, and then those that leave comments and shares and likes and all that other stuff, because that helps, and I appreciate it because we could just be putting stuff out here and nobody check for it. So thank y'all. On top of that, Kill No One Part 2 is most recent. That's out too. So I want y'all to make sure y'all go watch Part 1, go watch Part 2, right? And let's keep it moving, right? Because all we doing is being creative. There's a lot of people out here who get to a certain space in life and they forget to use their imagination, and we continue to do so, right? And then at the same time, man, we building and changing lives. All this content and stuff, all it takes is for one thing to hit like it's supposed to, and then everything else falls behind it. So that's all it is. So thank y'all for those of y'all that's doing that. But I want to let y'all know, coming up in September, though, we got the new piece of content coming out. Yeah, every month we coming through. Like I'm telling y'all, I'm not playing. The clip is loaded. We got Storm Den. Storm Den is the new short series. It's a skit series, right? It's a comedy. And what we doing is about me being the only one out of my friends who actually has power during the storm. So everybody winds up over my place. Now, how they know I got power is crazy because they all say to each other, they didn't tell each other. But come to find out, they all told each other. So this is crazy. It's one of those things that, it's simple, but it's real, right? So boom, double shout out to all of y'all that's getting ready for that in September. Y'all be on the lookout for that, all right? I'm going to let y'all know when it drop, and we just going to keep going, all right? So y'all make sure y'all push play on all this content because I'm not doing nothing but trying to get y'all alive, trying to lighten the mood. Everybody got real stuff going on in their life, so why not, all right? Okay, so with that being said, if you are a business, if you are a product, if you have an event coming up and you want to market your event, y'all know what to do. Holla at your boy, man, for only $10 a month. I get y'all on. Y'all know we do 4 live shows a month, and then we have reels and shorts that we do every single day of the week. So if you guys are into making sure you want to get your product out and move it around, or your event or whatever, y'all just hit me up. And like I said, it's only for $10 a month. Y'all can't beat that. It's limited slots though, but that's it. And you can keep it going. So, I'm just letting y'all know it's out there. Thank y'all so much in advance for all of y'all that's going to do that with your boy. All right. Another thing to all the homeowners out there, if you guys are, if you're interested in making sure you want to get this 30% tax deduction, because this is the last year for it. Okay, we want y'all to know, and y'all know the storms have been turning up a lot lately. And what's the number one thing they affect is the power, is your electricity, is your power. So we got to be more prepared for things like that, right? So solar energy is the way to go. And yeah, y'all, I know everybody be talking about, I don't want to get the panels on my house. It makes it look like this and that. Well, I don't know what your house will look like. You can have the prettiest house on the block, but if you ain't got no power, what difference do that make? Your house is just like everybody else on the block or everybody else in the neighborhood if you don't have no power. So it's somebody whose house is not going to look as nice as yours, but they're going to have solar and they're going to have power. So while you outside having to cook on the grill, they'll be in the house making sure that, they still getting it popping. So I'm just saying, all my homeowners out there, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to text the number that's on this flyer right here. Pause it, screenshot it, do whatever you want to do, right? Text the number that's on this flyer and let them know that Rod sent you from Sparking Conversation, y'all, and you can get a lot more on top of that. All right, so that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it there, right? Because I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to force or entice them to do something they don't want to do. But what I'm telling y'all, it'll be worth getting the information. So if you are a homeowner, please text the number on this flyer, 917-545-6193, right? And just let them know that Ross sent you and you need more information on solar energy, and how you can get that in the crib. All right. Do that. Okay. Other than that, y'all know everything else. Collective Wear in the building. Y'all know if y'all want to support the platform, if y'all want to support the line, the clothing line, the link is in the description. Y'all make sure y'all click that, go to the shop. Y'all shop around and see what we got going on and support your boy. That's all we doing. You know what I'm saying? We just keeping it moving. That's it. All right, so before I bring my guests up, y'all know what I got to do. I got to give y'all a little bit of that medicine throughout the week, because that's what we do. We got to give y'all that medicine. We got to give y'all. But before I give y'all the medicine, I wanted to say a couple of things, because I've been seeing that people have been upset. And it's been some people that's been hitting me up personally, and they've been asking me, and they've been like, yo, Rob, you didn't mention anything about BET and the awards and all that other stuff and how they canceling it. And I understand people are coming from a point of view that's racist, and I don't get it. I try my best, right, to just talk to my people and let them know that, everything that we take, or as a group of people, because I hate to identify as a color anyway, right? Because I'm clearly not black, but at the end of the day, that's what they group us in. We all got to look like that. We supposed to think like that, act like that. Shit is corny. I don't go by that. I don't prescribe to that. All right. Subscribe to it, however you want to call it. I'm not looking at it as racism because of BET Awards or Hip Hop Awards being canceled. I don't know why we got to look at it from that perspective. What we should be looking at it is from an ownership standpoint. Okay, we know that BET used to be owned by Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson sold a company when it got to a certain space. And everybody that owned the company since then has not been black people. I don't get why y'all so upset about that. The point is that in order for BET to be a place that had to be bought and sold, it was a person that had a vision. And the fact that we are so visionless in this day and age, it just bothers me that we can be so moved by emotion that we don't take the time to understand that that's a blessing. It's not bad. It's a blessing. So that means that all of you guys out here, all of y'all that these so-called celebrities and everybody else that love to talk about how much money they have and all these other things that they do, this is the time for you guys. You guys have been to so many award shows, front and back. Y'all know exactly what's supposed to go on. All you got to do is make your own. Why does not the hip-hop community, let's just talk about the hip-hop awards. Why is the hip hop community not coming up with the awards on their own? They don't need, and this is the flyest shit though, right? Because we got all these streaming platforms, all of these places that you guys can go to get the bag in order for this thing to keep going and to be owned by the people who actually do it, right? Not people who are not a part of the culture. And for some reason, y'all look at everything that's bad and not look at it like it's meant to be good. This is a good thing. I don't know why it's considered racist. That I don't consider why. I don't know why it's something that we're supposed to be upset about as a group of people. I don't get it. I really don't. And I'm sorry. You can call me whatever. You can say I'm disconnected. You can say whatever. But to me, I don't think that emotion should be wasted there when all of the people that have been to multiple award shows out here who have won multiple awards should be coming together and doing an award show. Like, why is that a thing that we upset about? It's just like this platform right here. I just got through telling y'all, listen, y'all, if ABC, Fox News, CNN, and all these other places won't give people an outlet in order for them to get their message out or their story out, because to their world, they're not as important, then that's what this platform is for. It's the same thing. Why should we wait for major outlets to give us something that we could give ourselves? Anybody. Why? Same thing. we understand that reparations is something that should have been given based on the way that people were done. We get that. But the fact that we are not getting it or haven't gotten it, but every other group of people have gotten it, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Irish, every other group of people in the world got reparations except us. And we understand that, right? I bet. And we understand that they use that as a tactic to still keep us separate because we got people who agree with it and don't. But at the end of the day, y'all, listen. If we're $1 trillion spenders as a group of people, why are we waiting for them to give us anything? We have the spending power to put together to get our own of whatever. The point is we won't own the things that we asking people to give us. It's just like whenever they said the situation about Rosa Parks on the bus. I get it, y'all. Word is born. I understand. She wasn't getting up, and I understand that sparked a revolution about people wanting to sit in the bus. But what it also did is make us not want to own our own buses. It don't make sense. We went from owning our own buses to now, because somebody else said it's okay for you to ride their bus, we don't own it no more. So that's everything else. It's just like the music industry. It's just like the BET Awards. Right? It's the same thing. It's like, yo, we owned it, we sold it, and then now, since the people who bought it don't want it no more, we gonna be mad at the person who bought it. Why we didn't group as a group of people? Why, whenever the money or the bag was up for it to get it, why didn't a group of people who run around here with bricks of money to their ears like phone, didn't put them bricks together and buy BET? So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a different perspective. It's a different way to look at it. We can't keep looking at it like that, yo. I'm telling y'all, man, it's all about a mindset. If you are a person that's always looking for somebody to give you something, you're never going to get what you need. You're only going to get what somebody wants you to have. It's not the life we live in. And that's why I'm about to bring my guests up, because at the end of the day, there's things that's going on to people all around the world. And the fact that we so separated and divided is the reason why it's just been able to just go on like it's okay. And it's not, right? We looking at each other based on color and all this other dumb shit, height and all this other stuff, hair, no hair, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that we use to separate ourselves. But when it comes down to these children, or when it comes down to people who can't do for themselves, why should that matter when you're an adult? Why does that matter? We keep finding ourselves in the same predicament because we keep thinking the same way. So listen, I got a couple of comments before I bring my guest up, because that's what it is. I ain't even get into what I was going to rant about. I'm going to let that go because I got a guest and we got to get into it. And she got some shit that she need to get out. And what she got to get out is real. And I want everybody to know, y'all know on this platform, one of the things I speak about all the time is protecting the kids. So let me get to some of these comments real quick. Barb, what's up, yo? Shout out to Barb, yo. And listen, all of you guys out there, Future and Commodities, if you guys need to learn and you guys want to know more about it, they have a manual that they wrote, and they helping people to understand. When them tariffs was talking and all that stuff was talking, everybody was divided about, oh, they're going to do this, that, and the third, and nobody knew what a commodity was. Stuff that you use each and every day. Did y'all know you as a person who's sitting up here talking about somebody else could be making money in that market? Yeah, off of onions. Right, off of corn. Did you know that? Most of y'all don't, right? Because you complain too much. Because what they do, they always attacking your feelings versus you guys understanding. What else she said? Barbara also said it's a mindset. Thank you. Right? So I'm not the only one that thinks that. Thank you. I'm glad, right? We have the power to get the wealth. Exactly. It doesn't need the wait. You know how it go. I tell y'all this all the time, yo. They not when most people don't act right until you show them you don't need them. Once you let people know you don't need them, then they act right. Sometimes they think they got the power over you because they think you need them, and they don't understand that you really don't. That goes for all matters of life, right? There's power in numbers. There's superpower in numbers, and that goes for everybody too. But listen, let me bring my guest up because we got to get into it, yo. It's a lot to talk about. She got a lot to get off, and let's see what's going on in her world. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Here's good. How
You
are
doing great?
you?
Hold on, I always have to find myself going crazy over these headphones. I gotta get me some new headphones. I don't know what's going on with my headphones, StreamYard, but they be bugging.
No
They be
worries.
bugging. But how are you today?
I'm okay. A little stressed, but doing all right.
Well, listen, I understand how that go because stress is something that I think everyone is dealing with, and finding a way to deal with it where you don't have to deal with it. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning that what I can't control, I got to give that away, right?
Right.
Because stress is not something that I like to hold on to. You know what I mean? But look, before we get into anything, we got to do this. We got to make sure that properly we introduce you. So I need you to introduce yourself to the audience, and then let them know why you're on the platform this evening.
Okay. I'm Cora with a K, Cora Peters, and I'm an adult entertainer. I'm an actress, and I have been since 2007. Before the OnlyFans and the Pornhub and companies that kind of took it away from actual Hollywood into any and everybody with a phone or camera could do it, and kind of made it a little less safe because when it was in Hollywood, at least we were in a studio. There was a team of people. We had to have permits, and the cops could come in and make sure that we had those permits, and everybody was there because they wanted to be in that consent. So all these sites that you're seeing, children being exposed to sexual exploitation and human trafficking and stuff. That I think they just opened the door to all that because it closed the door on regulating the industry the very little bit that it had been regulated up until that.
Gotcha.
But
Oh,
carrying that title porn star carries a stigma with it that no matter what I do in life, that will precede everything and anything that everybody knows about me. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's a heavy weight to carry, you know.
Well, I mean, you gotta. I mean, it's just one of them things, right? Because you gotta think about it when it come down to sex. Even before you think about Pornhub and all these other places where it's just so readily available now, um, sex has always been pushed to the masses in the media, right? And so you have a lot of overly sexualized people in the world, right? Because, well, let's just say in America, right? Because that's one of the main tools that they use to keep people in a certain, a certain vibration. We just want to call it like it is, sex is one of those things that is amazing between people, right? But it's also one of those things that not everybody is privy to have when they want to, right? So
Right,
that's why your industry and Pornhubs and the OnlyFans and all that stuff is thriving, because there are people who actually live vicariously through other people's, because that's a place that they want to be in, right? They want to be accepted. They want to be loved. They want to be felt like they're important. Like how y'all make the scenes feel important whenever y'all are in that space. So let's do this real quick because we know you have a real story. And so let's start from the beginning. You were in the adult industry. So was that on the side of the porn industry as actually filming is why
yes.
people
I
feel
film. I'd fly out to California and film and make movies and stuff. And now there's the cams, and I'm kind of moving into that camming. It's completely different than being on set in California, and directors and producers, but that transition is happening. However, I bought into a house at a nudist resort because I figured, where else could I feel more comfortable just being myself around a bunch of people who wouldn't, be judgmental, and I could go out and tan and not get tan lines. And I bought a house it was called a family friendly nude clothing optional nudist resort, which is run by AANR, which was the American Association of Nude Recreation. And everything was going well. And then we got a new owner, and I noticed these banners and it said SDC. And I was like, what is that? And it's like Swingers Dating Club. And I'm like, whoa, what? Swingers Dating Club having a swingers weekend, and there's children that live here. So I contacted AANR, and I'm like, first of all, let me tell you, I'm the porn star, so being the heathen, that's my job. Okay, so when I know that this is not right to have swingers parties around children because you're going to be fornicating around kids, why doesn't anybody else know that's right? That time they had informed me that they had several hundred complaints, but nobody would put their names on them and own them and stand behind them or send them concrete evidence that they needed. And I asked them, what kind of evidence do you need? And I provided them with that evidence. And a 3-year investigation into this resort called Paradise Valley Resort in Dawsonville, Georgia. And yes, I said it. Sue me. Sue me. Children are there, living there, and they are being exposed to sexual activities and swingers lifestyle activities while they're filming porn in broad daylight outside in a residential area. And they have up signs that like, slow down, children at play. And they think that a little rickety privacy fence is okay. You can hear and still see everything. You're outside. And if you go to the street above you, you can see everything. So this
Wow.
false security that you're giving is exactly that. And children should never be at the same resort as swingers. It should be adults only or family friendly. You can't have nudists and swingers together. It's just not acceptable.
Gotcha. So, all right. So, all right. Let's unpack that a little bit. So, all right. So, it's okay because it's normally just nudists going on, just people walking around naked. Now,
Yeah.
are they walking around naked in front of the kids too?
Yes, there's some people who are and some people who aren't. My HOA tried to mandate social nudism and I went off on them. And now they're not mandating it, they're just encouraging it and letting people know that we're, going to be naked. I'm like, well, how is that possible? Because I know that AANR pulled their charter permanently because they found that beyond a shadow of a doubt, children were being exposed to sexual activities. So, why are they still children? I thought that when I pulled that charter, I would force them to go adult only. Instead, I became a public enemy number one and have been literally run out of my house. I am staying in Texas at my ex-boyfriend, and now we're back together again from high school because I know that here I'm safe and there are barriers and I'm strapped up and this cowboy can shoot because people have literally threatened my life and I've had men step to me and want to fist fight me in this resort because I said children should not be here.
So, okay,
Mind
wait. Are they all right? So, were they upset with you because of you saying that they shouldn't be doing it around the children, or because you feel like, children were involved? Because I'm trying to understand what the anger would be.
because they say I want to disturb their happy place. Well, if your happy place includes children being around swingers lifestyle activities, then you have a problem. Everybody knows who's a true swinger. Children don't belong anywhere near that resort. And I think I've done enough homework to understand now the problem lies with the law in Georgia. There's a law in Georgia that says you cannot have a liquor license if you're an adult only club. And that resort owner has dead set on having that liquor license. Like he can't be more creative and do like a pour fee or a corkage fee or something. No. And if you if you go online and you Google nudist resort liquor law, the name of that Paradise Valley Resort pops up. The damn resort itself pops up as if it's a law. When it's not even a legal nudist resort because it lost its federal charter from AANR.
Mm.
But yet I went to the county, I went to the cops, and they came after the porn star. So I'm literally not in my own house because I have a stack of police reports and I've never been arrested.
That's crazy. So, okay, so listen. All right, so the children that were there. So you said this was a resort. I did look it up, but I wanted to make sure that we paint the picture for the audience watching to know like exactly what that really means. Because when for the most part, when people think of resorts, they think of a vacation, a place where people vacation,
Right.
right? So in this space, it's not necessarily that. It's a living community
It's
for people
cool.
who niche in nudity and all that other stuff, but it's
Right.
not like a vacation spot. Okay.
Right. No, and they're advertised all over the internet on swingers resorts, on swinger sites, on fetish sites, on Fet Swing. And there's even a company called PS Films that goes in there and own property there and films pornography. And there's a whole series called The Love Shack, filmed at Paradise Valley Resort in Dawsonville, Georgia, that proves my point that this pornography is being filmed outside where children can see. But what I'm getting back from the county and from law enforcement is it's a gray area because the kids are not in the videos. So it's okay. And so what you're saying is it's okay to be on a porn set and okay to be hanging out with Johnny the cameraman as long as you're behind him and not in front of him. I'm like, what you're saying does not compute with me. Like, where is this gray area that they keep talking about? That's what
That's great.
I just don't comprehend a gray area. It's black or white. Kids should not be around porn and sex, period. And
Wow.
this porn that they're making is all over the internet. It's on Pornhub. It's on XXN. It's on Export. It's on so many sites. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, I don't see the children. I'm like, but the children live there and you're outside in broad daylight in the children's neighborhood.
Yo, that's
Come on.
that's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. So, all right. So the fact. All right. So, do you have children?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. So because that's different because most of the time it seemed like parents would be as more concerned than you would be, right?
Well,
In that perspective.
I have an adopted son. I got legal guardianship of him when I came home, and my best friend and roommate, who was in the Navy, had got deployed for Operation Desert Storm. And I was like, oh, I just inherited a teenage boy. But he's grown and has kids of his own. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did
So
step
you
up and take guardianship and for God and country. I did raise that boy. Yes, I did.
okay, bad. So all right,
But
so actively with the point, all right, being at the porn industry has shifted, right? And all of those things that's going on. And like you said, that now content is being created anywhere now when it
any
comes down to it. Anywhere, right? So for you personally, did this mess up what you're doing? Because you said that you used to being in the Hollywood sets doing those type of films.
oh yeah.
And so being that that's not really a thing no more, did you transition into like the porn hubs and all that other stuff yourself?
And not when I noticed that this is where these videos were being distributed, and I had reached out to them. It's like, yeah, there's kids here, and there were certain companies who are like basically told me to go F myself and or made me a target of them. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I never said I'm anti my own industry. I love porn. I make it. Come on. I never said I was anti swingers. I love it. I mean, who am I to judge? I'm like, everybody live to love another day. You know, it's but the way I see it, SDC, I did them a huge favor. I said, get off their website, get out of this neighborhood, run, run, run. And yeah, it took me several years to get them to comprehend what I'm saying, but they finally got the hell out of there and got off the website. And I'm like, you're welcome for taking the liability of being around children off of you. If you're a swingers company or a swingers resort and you're filming pornography, you have to follow the same federal laws that any pornographer does, period. There should never be children there, because the second you go through that resort gate and there's people fornicating on the outside in public, that entire resort is now a porn set.
Yikes. Okay. Well, that makes sense though, right? Because you're outside.
You're
So it's not like you're in, yeah, it's like there's no
outside,
walls.
there's layers on the streets. Like, it's not like you have any real privacy. But they're saying, oh, it was behind a privacy fence. Well, then how come when the cops came the last time, because I called about a woman showing up at my house with her kid in tow, trying to start a fist fight with me, bless her heart, in front of her child. And she was drunk and sped off and almost killed that kid by hitting the brick wall. And she did go to jail for DUI and child endangerment. Why was I told by the cops that if somebody was peeking through my privacy fence and saw me naked, I could go to jail? But that doesn't apply to anybody else in my neighborhood.
Yo, nah, that sound like people who possibly who frequent the place, you know?
Yeah, and I could show you, and I have showed you that they made up an entire municipality. Kilo, Kilough, Georgia. Google it. There is no such municipality. There is not a city named Kilo, does not exist in the state of Georgia. But when those cops who mess with me, I've noticed on my police reports, it says Kilo, Georgia on those ones. On the other ones, it says Dawsonville, Georgia, which is in fact where I live. So I'm like, whoa, so cops are making false police reports. They're all up in that resort.
Yeah, you know, it's hard. It's hard because even when it comes down to things that's dealing with minors and stuff like that, it's a bunch of adults involved, right?
Right.
And so that's why it's crazy to me that, you know, any parent will be okay, even if the parent themselves are in the industry, even like you said yourself, like you're not against it because you do it. You're just saying that it shouldn't be around children. Now, the fact that parents allow their children to be exposed to that also only opens them up to possibly being abused too. And that's the only thing that I feel bad about, because, you know, they will get
That's the
desensitized to it, right?
one
Like
that
even if nobody don't force them.
sees that or hears that, they can't unsee and they can't unhear that. Their innocence is gone. And it's like, children need to stay children as long as they possibly can. And they don't need to be exposed to any kind of pornography or sexual activities of any kind until they are old enough to experiment as teenagers on their own. And then even then, it's our job as parents and adults to discourage that for as long as humanly possible. You know, so why people would bring their grandchildren or their kids over to what is openly advertised on the World Wide Web. Yes, that's what the WWW means, people. And everybody can see that this is a swingers resort. Why would you bring children's and infants into that? Like, literally, they were bringing infants and handing them around in the bar and had pictures of it, boasting about it. And I sent that to AANR. So the AANR has pictures of children there at these weekend swingers lifestyle events. So they would not have pulled their federal charter as a multi-million-dollar organization that's recognized by the federal government without doing their due diligence, and a 3-year long investigation that proved that children are absolutely being exposed to sex and lifestyle activities. So I thought, okay, the charter's gone. So the kids should be gone. Uh-uh. Charter's gone, kids are still there, and I'm still on the run. Like literally, I cannot be in my own home because I cannot be around these people and not call them names like pedophile and stuff. And it just irks me to no end. And I can't fathom why they think I'm the bad guy.
Well, I mean, we could kind of put it together why they think you're the bad guy. Now, what you're doing it for, I think that parents shouldn't look at you as the bad guy. But then again, we gotta understand too that if these parents are into, sex so much that is their vice. You know what I'm saying? It just goes past their rationalization. Like common sense don't become common no more if that's what
Have
drives them.
children in an oversex environment, like something's gonna happen. You're gonna make that child a victim.
I agree with you on that. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I think that, but what's so crazy how people will look at that? Like people will take this conversation that we having right now, especially coming from you, because first of all, the reason why people going to not take it from you because you're in the porn industry, right? So they just going to think that you just morally are trying to be on one and not the other, because you know how it go. People are going to look at you, like you said earlier, you can't get past the stigma because of what you've done as a job, right?
Right.
Nobody, once people recognize you and they know that's who you are, they automatically are going to assume you're in this box. You're not a good person. You're this, you're that, and sex is all that you're about, right? Because at the end of the day, you made a living off of it. And that's
Right.
something that you admitted, like, yo,
So
yeah, this is how I
somebody
get
like
down.
me knows this is wrong. Why the hell can't normal people who are supposed to be good people comprehend that? It's wrong.
Well,
That
I don't
blows
think
my
I'm,
mind.
but that's the point we're trying to make. It's like the
I'm
addiction.
in this is in the
Sex is
Bible
an
Belt.
addiction.
Mind you,
It
this is in
is,
the
but
Bible Belt, Georgia, Dawsonville, Georgia is the Bible Belt. Why? Where are the Christians? Hello, where
that's the
y'all
point.
at?
The Christians are at the resort,
That's the
right?
problem.
They at the
Uh,
resort. They in the churches. They everywhere. Like sex is
Apparently,
strong.
Anna
Sex
sent
is
a
strong.
letter out to the county. It sent a letter out to everybody saying we've pulled our membership. We pulled our charter from this resort because children are here being exposed to lifestyle activities and whatnot. And still, so does that lie in the law that, okay, is the problem with Georgia's liquor law that you have to have children there because you cannot have a liquor license in an adult only establishment? So so you have to have kids at the resort to get liquored up? I think it should be the complete opposite.
Well,
I mean, that's the
you
problem
know
with that law,
what?
Is that what we need to
Now,
start?
now that no, that makes sense from business perspective. No, now I get what you're saying. That makes sense because there's a lot of family friendly things that are just for kids. Like for example, there are fun parks that's just for kids, but they sell alcohol for the adults, right?
Right. But
So
you go to
that
an
does
adult
that.
only resort or adults only club, they cannot sell alcohol. Cannot do it.
Okay,
It's
so that's
BYOB.
why.
And
That's
that's
why.
that's seriously sick because I'm like, wait a minute. You have to have kids there to get liquored up? Y'all.
Yeah, you have to be able to allow them whenever it's come to adults. Like, yo, like
It should
that's the
be
play.
if there ain't kids there because then you don't have drunk adults around children. Like it
But
should be
now
the
you got
complete
adults
opposite.
around children and sex with alcohol. That is
Right, just like in
crazy.
Florida, they have like Paradise Lakes, they have Caliente, they have all these swingers resorts where they serve alcohol, and it's 21 and over. I am down with that. Good for you, 21 and over. Get your swing on, get your drink on. There's no kids there. It's a good environment to do that. It's adults only. But the law. I think the law is where it needs to start, because I've done my homework, and it comes down to the only reason I can find that they need to have them children there is for that liquor license.
Yo, that is crazy. Here we got a couple of questions real quick. Let's get to these and then we'll get back into the conversation a little bit.
All right.
Um how would Yessie is saying, how are the kids getting to this place and are the parents bringing them? Yeah, she
Yeah, they're
said that.
bringing them.
She said yeah.
Yeah, they're bringing them. Some of them actually had lived there with their kids.
Mm.
And I will tell them, look, we don't have a charter. AANR is not here anymore. Children should not be here. And I'm the bad guy. So, yeah.
That is crazy. All right. So we got one more comment. She says, in listening to you, the parents are at fault and should be investigated since they're the ones exposing their kids to this type of environment. I agree. I agree with that. You know, I think
I
that's
went
the point.
GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, because FBI kicked it down to GBI, which, okay. So there's Special Agent Green. Yeah, I'm going to call you out. GBI. And she's now the Assistant Director of Region 8, GBI, which takes over Dawsonville. And she says in writing that it's perfectly okay for children to be at a clothing optional resort where they have swingers parties and film pornography as long as the kids are in bed by 9. She put that in writing. Bless her heart. That is absolutely wrong, Special Agent Green. Kids are not supposed to be at resorts that have swingers parties, or AANR would not have pulled their federal charter.
Well, I'm confused too because they're doing it in the daytime. They're doing it in the daytime, not before.
She told me that, but she said, no, it's not happening in the daytime. Her investigation said no, because apparently she don't know how to use Google. Anybody can see it. It's on the World Wide Web. But Special Agent Green of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation says, nah, it ain't there. And it's not happening in broad daylight, even though everybody in the rest of the world can see it is happening. She says it's perfectly legal for children to be at resorts that have swingers parties. That is a lie. Swingers and nudists cannot be at the same resort. AANR knows that.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of corruption. I mean, to me.
Exactly. And how much money you got to have to pay off GBI? So what really going on there? That's what scares me. That's why I ain't there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how much money they had to have to pay off the cops and Georgia Bureau of Investigation? Oh, hell no. Because I talked to some law enforcement buddies down in Atlanta, and they said, oh, we ain't going north of Cobb County, honey. It's like the Wild West up there. We know that shit's corrupt.
Well, so you know what though? I don't
get out of Dodge, girl.
You got to think about it from this perspective too. Like whatever's going on there is being filmed. That's number one. So a lot of these people are probably on film that you're talking about. Like people who are, it's no different than what they talk about when it comes down to the Epstein thing. Everything that they talking about is based on people that they know that people are on film, compromised in some type of sexual act.
Everybody has the ring, so they be filming the streets and everybody else and saying they not. Well, when y'all post a video of my vehicle going up the hill, trying to say that I was speeding to show the cops, you just showed the whole world that my vehicle rolled up that hill with 4 tires. And when the cops, 5 cop cars showed up for an alleged speeding violation. Now I'm inside my house, refused to come out. When they leave, 2 of my tires are flat. Wow, if my neighbor hadn't have posted video of my car going up the hill via his Ring camera, I couldn't have proved that my tires were not flat before the cops got there. But since he violated my rights and did that, it was right there for everybody on Facebook to see.
That is crazy.
I mean, there's video of the cops coming up after dark for an alleged speeding violation once again. And I'm inside my house. They show up wearing a baseball cap. The one guy stands back, you see a little flicker of light. This guy comes up, knocks on the door, starts shining lights in the house. Doesn't say law enforcement, doesn't say police, does not identify himself in any way, shape, or form before shining a light into a house in a stand your ground state. Worry for that man's safety.
So what's going on with your house? Did you have to sell it? Do you still own it?
But the resort owner, he kept saying, you buy her house, you can't be a member. I guess they think if they keep me there, they can keep me quiet because everybody locally, you know, they took away my ability to have internet because I allegedly verbally abused the technician. I'm like, do you mean that big burly dude that comes over? Bless his heart. Can I get the police report on that? I mean, I hope he wasn't hurt too much by some words I didn't actually say. So now they don't want me to have surveillance, so I can't get the cops and show everybody that the cops be messing with me. So I had to take off. My house is insured. It's for sale because I don't want to be there, but I'm getting, blocked by the resort owner saying that if you buy my house or rent my house, you can't go down to his club or his resort. Now, you would think if I'm such a pain in their ass, they would just pay me to go away.
I guess they want you to pay. They want you to keep paying.
Oh yeah, they had a estate sale in my house when I was gone. I went all the way out to California for XBiz, and I was presenting at the Phoenix Forum the next week. But I had to fly back to Georgia because all of a sudden my surveillance went down, but my motion detector was going off. They had an estate sale where the cops were present, and so I just got my inheritance. Everything I inherited, gone. I mean, gone. And then I had to prove to the cops I didn't steal everything I inherited. They turned it around on me and tried to say I stole that. I had to send everything to my attorneys. He's like, record everything because it was insane. I'm trying to report that my house had been robbed and the cops are coming after me, saying I stole everything that got stolen in the first place. What the? And then they tried to say I didn't own it. And I'm like, so how did I get this stuff appraised for insurance purposes if I didn't actually have it?
Wow.
It was just insane.
What's going on with that? Did they give your stuff back from the estate sale?
No, I showed up at one of the guys' auction houses and bought some of my things back. And I had some friends from California go online and see the auction stuff and purchase my things and send them to me. And they're like, what's yours? I'm like, you know what's mine. I can't tell you that because I've been leading you. And I ain't going to lead you. You know what's mine. So they bought what they already knew was mine and sent me back some of my heritage. I mean, the one I had to go get my great-grandmother. I'm like, this is my great-grandmother. Look at her. Look at me. Look at her. Look at me. Come on now. And that was the last auction that man had, Vernon Smith. Yes, I said it. At his auction house. Now he's online only. So that people like me can't go in there and say, yeah, I'm buying my stolen stuff back, because I was telling everybody I was buying my stolen stuff back. And his granddaughter brought me that pin of my great-grandmother and said, is this your grandma? Because she looks like you. And I said, no, that's my great-grandmother, and I look like her.
Wow. That is interesting, man. You got a lot going on. And
I never thought that doing the right thing, especially standing up for children, would cost me everything.
Nah, listen, doing the right thing will cost you everything. Because people who do the wrong thing, it just seems like they just continue to do the wrong thing, right? But whenever you're doing the right thing, it seems like you get the most opposition in life. It doesn't matter at what level it is. But I guess that's the fight about being right? Because what you get out of it is not what people are getting from, whether you just put it to you like this. What we do whenever we do something that's right, the feeling that we get is not the same feeling that a person get whenever they doing wrong. When a person doing wrong, sometimes they feel like they are right.
Oh yeah.
And in this case, what you're dealing with, all the people down there in that spot that you're talking about, like, yo, they know that they're wrong, but they will act like they're right because they're going to put business, they're going to make it business first, right? What they doing to you is business. It's not necessarily personal. It's business because
Well,
whatever you're doing
I
is
they
going to
doing
mess up business.
I know they got the kind of money that have lobbyists to help change things and buy law enforcement, and they're doing business. The law just changed in Georgia. It's legal now to make and distribute pornography in Georgia. That's great. It's legal to make it. So get the kids out and make it around adults only. It's not legal to make it around children. But they
I
got to
mean,
have that liquor license. And I'm like, wow. Then lobby to change that law instead of spending all your money messing with me, having people
I don't
stalk me
know.
here. I mean, I went to the Why Not Awards and they're like, "Oh, Cora, go upstairs. You're gonna have a swinging good time." Well, yeah, they was there messing me in full force, and everybody harassing me at Why Not. Well, guess who doesn't have an award show anymore in Hollywood? Why Not? When you harass the performers and the other women and you take your liberties and you do things to people, it comes back to you. So, I mean, I literally listened to this woman crying about being human trafficked at the Why Not Awards, and they told her to shut the F up.
Mm,
I recorded it. Girl was full on
yeah.
screaming and crying.
Yeah. That it's so much about the porn industry. Sometimes I might have to have a conversation about just that. I know today's conversation is mainly about what's going on with the kids. You know what I mean? So we wanted to make sure that we get this information out just in case other people are in Georgia or in other places that don't feel like it's right for children to be filmed, be around filming of pornography and stuff like that. At least they have your story to stand on and they can get more information from you and find out more about what they
I
might
have
want to
looked
do to
on
make sure that happens.
TripAdvisor and then a couple of places. There are a few people who do make comments about, they're out at the pool and sexual activities started happening and there were children there and stuff. And so it's not only me that has actually spoken out, but um, it seems like nobody will stand firm behind me when it really counts. But like I said, the fact that AANR had pulled their federal charter, I mean, wouldn't that take it to a federal level beyond the state to where somebody could step in and say, "Hey, get the kids out"?
Well, no, the way that you just broke it down, I think that's the main reason. It's not so much that they can't or they won't. It's just the fact that it's business. And
Right?
we know that on the federal level too, there's a lot of people in the federal level who are, unfortunately, they're into that, right? It's
I,
happening
I've
every day.
I've emailed, the district attorney's office. I've got a hold of the FTC. I've got a hold of Governor Kemp. And just so you know that when you do that, this is public record. So just so they can't say, well, nobody informed us, there is public record that a porn star sent you email after email after email telling you what's happening. So when a porn star has more morals than the people running the government, running the state, running the law enforcement, you got to wonder what the hell's going on in the state of Georgia.
Well, it's porn. You said it. I mean,
Actually,
that's
it's
it.
happening. It's called damn
It's the
liquor
number
law.
one. But it's the number one thing you got to remember. What you're speaking about is morality, right? We're talking
Balance.
about it from a
But see,
moral
they want to
standpoint.
throw it down on the porn industry. But I think what we need to look at is that gosh darn liquor law that says you have to have kids around this stuff.
I mean, either way it go, it's still the business. That's why I'm telling you, like, yo, if you what everything you're saying makes sense. The only part about it is the why. Like we got to figure out the why, and I think that's it. We know based on everything you saying, everything that you're saying makes sense. But the reason why you're being attacked the way you are, first of all, it's like you got the audacity, right? That's how they looking at you because, like you said earlier, the stigma that comes with the fact that you do porn seems
Right.
like you will be a person that's open and free to sex and nudity, period, because
I
that's your job.
as long as there's no
But
kids around.
here's the thing about when it comes down to the money. The liquor is how they making their money. A lot of it. right? Because you got to understand this is the way that it goes, and the way that they're paying people is based on that. And not only that, when people are coming to these places and they're engaging in those activities, a lot of times people are inebriated or they're into that. You know what I mean? Like that's part of it. Alcohol is a part of it.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
definitely.
why that's why you're getting everything that you're getting. It has nothing to do with the children. It has everything to do with business. And that's the saddest part about it. And I think that's what's going to make this conversation the most important. If nobody don't get nothing else out of this conversation besides the fact that they could judge you all they want to based on your past or based on your present, because you said you're still in the industry. So they could judge you all they want to based on that. That's your choice. You chose to do whatever you needed to do, and obviously you're okay. But
Right.
at the
At
end
the
of the day,
I
what,
make that choice.
yeah, you made that choice, right? So however your lifestyle led you or whatever, you made the choice. But what we're saying is when it comes down to the children, we all want to protect the children. We should be. But at the end of the day, we also see how the children are being used every day,
Yeah.
right? And
It's
in this case, what you're saying, the children are being used. And it's sad that it has to be where you have to lose all your stuff and you have to get attacked and all these other things because you're trying to help children. But at
right.
the same time, they're not looking at it that way. They're looking at you as trying to stop business. That's the difference. The
And
difference is
that's where
that.
I saw that. And I'm like, now where I see that, but why won't they lobby to change those laws? Why don't they spend that kind of energy changing the law that gets where you could have kids
It's going to
at,
take a bunch of y'all. It's going to take a bunch of people like
oh,
you. It's going to take a bunch of people like you to hit to these senators and these lobbyists, and move it around. But you
because
got to remember,
it
you
don't make
guys got to.
you could only be liquored up if there's children around. I mean, that's just
Well, hey, listen,
nonsense.
you and a few other people, y'all going. I mean, however that can work, but it's probably going to take that. It's
Yeah, but
going to take that.
I think so because I don't see the kids getting out of there. I don't understand how they can be in the resort without an our charter. I mean, that's pretty much the law.
Well, I mean, we already know when it comes down to the law, it's only pertaining to certain people whenever the agenda is not based on the person who stands behind the law. So as long as the people who stand behind the law is a part of the agenda, then the law is always going to be null and
And
void.
I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop so many times, and I've had friends just say no. I've had people, Joe Frazier Jr. tell me, wipe the blood off and get back in the ring, girl. You're fighting a good fight. And I'm like, I thank God that I have people behind me that give me
uh,
the strength and the courage and remind me that when things happen, that God doesn't just give you strength, He tests yours. So I know I'm being tested, but I'm like, come on, I know I'm a sinner. So if this sinner knows it's wrong, there's surely something we can do with people who are in higher positions in life to protect those children that have more
facts.
ability than I do.
And
And that's why
listen,
I came to the platform, was just to get that message out. Because even if one of those people hears me, one of those right people that can help me, that help the children, that's all that matters. Get those children
mm,
out there and hear it. But NBC, that they won't cover it. Why? Because I'm a porn star. Well, who else would know better what's going on in that industry than somebody in that industry?
uh,
It
that's
don't make
true.
no sense to me. Like,
I
but
don't know, but
if
I do
it
know.
reaches the right set of ears and somebody who actually can do something and that cares about children will step up and help make that change or help.
Yeah, they will. You know what though? But I think you getting the best information, right? The motivation to keep going because you're doing it for the kids. And everybody that was used in the Bible was a sinner. It wasn't nobody that was perfect in the Bible that was used, right? By God. So we can't even look at that as a means of why you're doing something. Like because you as an adult chose a certain lifestyle doesn't mean that people can judge the fact that you have morals as well too. Now, some people may look at that differently, right? Because of I don't know. People may have saw your movies and stuff like that, and then from there is like, yo, because once you put yourself in this mix, if they went and researched you and did everything that they could do on you, and they
Oh yeah.
probably saw, I don't know how you get down in your movies. I've never seen you in anything, but like if they put you in something, or if they looked at your stuff and saw however you got busy, then they looked at you as the least person that they had to worry about from the voice standpoint, because they're going to always keep using your porn lifestyle or history as a means to be like, man, we ain't listening to her, versus it just being a regular housewife or a stay-at-home mom, or just whatever that stigma is about women, because there could be women who have never been in the porn industry that have more sex than a porn star.
Oh
So
yeah.
but they won't, but that's not the image that is being portrayed. You know what I mean? You can
Right.
shoot one movie and somebody can see your movie a million times. It'll look like you had sex a million times, right? That's just because you in the industry. But at the end of the day, you're being dismissed because of that. So it's like one of those things where I understand why people are telling you to keep going. Because at this particular point, it's almost like if nobody don't get the fact that you're doing this solely for the children and not because you have anything against what people are doing, besides the fact that they're doing it in front of children, if people don't get that and they don't understand that, then there's really not much more you need to explain to people, but besides keep doing your fight. Because other than that, these people that don't get that, then they just want to be upset about something. That's
Yeah, and
it.
that's why I'm stepping out and I'm getting louder and I'm getting broader. It's like this has been going on for like a decade. And in 2017 is when I had the charter pulled. So they thought they could just quiet me and attack me and that would go away. But instead, I'm trying to get louder and broader because those children are still there. And
Mm.
there's more kids coming and going. And it's not stopping. And the one thing that you can't get back is your innocence. Once that's gone, it's gone. You can't unsee it.
Yeah, they must really be on you, because they done kicked me off of Facebook. My live stream, they ended my live stream at 40 minutes in
I
on
told you they
Facebook.
restricted my YouTube with you. I will show you that.
Yeah. They've
Uh,
never, like, that's never happened to me before. Now I said this in the intro. A lot of times my guests, and I think a lot of times my guests don't realize that too. Like, being a person that gives people a platform to talk about real things in the world, it doesn't always allow me as a person to, not be affected by it, even though I
I'm
don't have
so
nothing to do
sorry
with
about
it.
the
You
backlash. Yeah.
shouldn't, no, you shouldn't be upset, because at the end of the day, that's what the platform is for. If I was going to be in this, and my ultimate goal was to worry about if I can get a million views or if I could do something, then I had the wrong intentions for getting into this platform. I wanted to have a platform that spoke directly to the people, that wasn't niched in a way where, anybody, it's just anybody platform. So that's cool that I have to go through these things, right? Because that just lets me know that I'm in my purpose. Like, one of the things that we got to
Well, I
stand
mean,
on when
they
we're in
know
our
here.
purpose is that
uh,
everything is not going to go the way that we want it to go, right?
That's
Your
true.
in your purpose is not meant, it's not going to be perfect. That's not what your purpose is about. If you don't have any opposition in your purpose, then you're not in your purpose, right? So
Tried to
you
sign
got to
in
have
through
that.
the YouTube and they blocked it. It said it's completely restricted. I'll send you that. And I was like, what? They restricted me so I had to sign in through Facebook.
Yeah. So that's another thing, right? Like it's one of those things where
They
it's a
trying to
part of
fight.
it. It's a part of it. And I mean, and it's okay, right?
and
It's
that
okay because it's
down
not
to
supposed to be
you.
perfect.
And like you said, with the due diligence, I do plan on sharing this. I do plan on putting this everywhere I can because I just need that one right person to hear it and help those kids and make that
Facts.
difference.
Facts. Well, look, this is what we need to do. Before we get out of here, we want you to tell people how they can get in contact with you. Because once people find out you do porn, I know a lot of people just gonna try to go find your movies. So
Right.
let's try to figure out a way that they can find you personally, so that way they can, if they feel like they want to help you in this fight to help these children, they could get in contact with you and your movement.
Right. I'm always on I always check my messenger on Facebook and stuff, but I have KP House, the number 4 sale at gmail.com. That's right, because I'm trying to sell that house. I get the hell out of there. And send me an email if you have uh, a way to help or a desire to help these children. If you're just sending me an email because you want to talk dirty, I will block you. For that, go to corapeters.com. I do charge you to text me because, yeah, that is my job. But please don't use this as a means to try to have a way to get to me about your fantasies, because that'll only show me what kind of human being I don't want to talk to, and you will be instantly blocked.
Good. I'm glad you said that though, because you know they coming. A lot of people are probably gonna come for the wrong reasons at first. You know what I mean? So
And that's
I'm
fine.
glad you
Look
said
at
that.
movies, watch me, support me in that way. That's fine. But just go on as a fan, as a regular. I have all kinds of outlets where my fans can talk to me. That email is used for people who want to help me help the children. And I
Facts.
filter you out.
Facts. So to all of y'all that watch tonight, I want y'all to know that we gotta continue this fight to help children, right? We gotta continue this fight to help protect the children the best that we can. And I want y'all all to take Cora's story tonight, right? And just try your best to not judge her in the sense of what you may think about porn and porn industry and people who are in the business. That's not important because we all gotta be in a space where we don't live in a space of judgment because all of us fall short. Every last one of us. It is nobody that's living a perfect life that they could throw rocks at someone else. But what we want y'all to do is that overlook that portion, right? Or if that's what you're about, then that's just what you're about. Like she said, you can support her in that way if you want to. But at the end of the day, what we want y'all to do to take from her story is not the porn. It's not the porn part. It's not the porn industry in itself. What we want y'all to take is from the fact that she is a human being and she has a passion to help these children. And although she may, live a lifestyle that is free in the way that she's speaking against, she's not speaking against the lifestyle. She's speaking against the children being a part of it. Kids should be allowed to be children, grown up, raised, and make their own decisions, not forced into a position based on the adults that they have in front of them. So I want y'all to make sure that y'all please, if y'all can, reach out to Cora at her email, CoraHouseForSale at Gmail. Hit her
KP.
up,
Yes.
KP House for Sale
Mm-hmm.
at Gmail. Hit her up, let her know that you're interested in helping her with the fight to help the children, finding out more ways. And to all my other podcast hosts out there, my other podcast platforms, if you guys want to get more in depth in the conversation than we got today, I think that today we did exactly what we came to do. We wanted to focus on the children, not so much focus on the industry. I'm sure if she wants to talk to you guys about the industry, that's something different. But right now,
Yeah,
tonight's conversation
always
was
down to
about
do
the children.
that. But today I was really wanting to bring to you guys about the children. I mean, there's always another future show. You guys have questions. I'm here to answer them. That's fine. I'm down. But today it was definitely about focusing on why are children being exposed to this, and what is that gray area? How do we get them out of
Exactly.
that gray area?
Exactly. So thank you all, man. Thank you all. Yes, I would like to have her on Oyen Dia TV and the show in the future. Okay, yeah, bet. So we could set that up, Corey. I will connect y'all so that way they could schedule you on there as well. Because look,
You.
she has a platform of women too. So I'm sure this will affect differently, right? Then
Yes.
because with me, I want you to know, like with me, I didn't want to get into too much about the porn, your lifestyle, right? Because I knew when me and you was communicating up and before this show, I knew exactly what your mission was. And your mission was about these children. And for me, that's what impressed me about you more so than it was about everything else. Because you're really upfront and honest. I want you to know that. Because you let me know in ahead of time. Listen, I want to come on your platform to talk about these children. And yes, I'm a porn star. And yes, I don't like it. And it was just the continuation of it. And you know, and throughout our conversations, as you notice, I only kept it about what the situation was. So I want you to know that there are other platforms that I'm connected to, and hopefully we can get you on as many platforms as we can for you to talk about these children, right? Although I know some people may want to talk to you about your lifestyle as well too. So
Yeah,
I just wanted to make
as
sure that
long as we keep those two separate, I'm down to do both. But
there it
just to
is.
just to get the message out about these kids today means more to me than I can even say. Thank you so much for having me on your platform.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, we're gonna have to bring you back up. We're gonna have to you know, give some time through, but we're gonna have to have you back on because this is something that is a continuation. It's not a one and done situation. Because it's not just happening in Georgia. It's just
Right,
that we so happen to know about Georgia because of you, but it's happening in a lot of other places. And it's not just happening, I mean, and it's happening to children personally. You know what I mean? I've had people on this platform who have gone through some things in that space. So, you know,
right,
we want to make sure that we group all of y'all together. We want to make sure that everybody understands that, you know, there's a method behind everyone's madness. It always is. So
yeah.
thank you so much, Cora, for being on tonight. Don't go nowhere yet, but all the people that's watching, thank y'all so much. Everybody that was on Facebook, I'm sorry that it cut y'all off. The conversation, we already know the vibe, right? So it's all love. We'll get it back where it need to be. Y'all will be able to see it. We'll clip this up and move this around. But like I tell y'all each and every week, man, y'all know what to do. Y'all got to believe in yourself because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So until next week, y'all know the vibe. Stay connected. Stay cool out here. This is your boy Ra One. This is Sparking Conversation, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.